Hello, my name is Mr. Rozen, and I am the 7th and 8th grade math teacher here at Canyon Valley Middle School. I just wanted to go through a couple of expectations with you before we meet in person. To start off, I want to talk about respect. Respect is going to go both ways between you and myself, and of course, the classroom. We're just going to make sure that this is a friendly and open environment, and everyone is going to feel respected. No food in my class. If we provide you with a breakfast, that is going to be allowed in my classroom, but nothing from the cafeteria, nothing from the tiki shack, nothing from home. Let's just go ahead and keep the food out of my classroom. If you want to bring a clear plastic bottle, that is acceptable. I have water for you to fill up, and I want you to stay hydrated, but we're going to keep the snacks and stuff in our backpacks. Also, we're going to keep personal items in our backpacks. These are toys or blankets, pillows, stuff like that. I will take those away from you. I will return them to you, but it's going to be probably at the end of the day. Due dates. We know the grading policy already is that you'll have an opportunity to turn in assignments until the end of the semester. But in my class, I'm going to have some due dates, right? That doesn't mean you're going to get knocked points if you don't turn anything in on time. It's just to make sure that we stay on a schedule and that you know when you should be expecting some of these things returned to you. Plagiarism, you know all about plagiarism. We're not going to copy anyone else's work. We are on a skills-based proficiency grading scale right now, and I cannot assess your proficiency if you're copying someone else's work. So let's try and keep our assignments to ourselves, right? Lastly, I have electronic devices. Those are cell phones, Bluetooth headphones, smartwatches, gaming consoles, iPads, other tablets, stuff like that. Um, Cell phones are going to not be tolerated. Those will follow the school policy. Electronic devices, other than that, are going to get a couple of warnings before we get into disciplinary action. But it's best practice to just keep those kinds of things at home. Right. I also wanted to go through some how-tos on how to act in my class. We're going to talk about entering the classroom first. Right before class, you're going to get all of your energy out in the hallway and outside area. Right. I want you to come in and be ready to learn. I want there to be no screaming or hollering or running and chasing people around the room at the time of entering. Be ready to learn when you come in the classroom. Look up on the board, see what you need to do, sit down, make sure your phone's put away, all that stuff. If the door is locked, which happens from time to time, go ahead and give it a couple of knocks. Just that's all you need. You don't have to pull on the door. You don't have to knock as hard as you can. I know that you're on the other side of the door. I'll come and help you in. Right during class, sometimes I'll send you to the bathroom, or the nurse, or somebody will come pull you out of the classroom. Just return to your desk quietly. Don't distract others. Don't need to make a big scene out of it. Right? While I'm teaching, I would expect that there is no talking. Right? If I am teaching, that means that you should be learning something, taking something away from what I have to say. So let's not distract others by communicating with your classmates, right? Raise your hand if you have any questions, right? Questions will come up while I'm teaching. That's going to be the best way to get my attention. Please don't just shout at me or anything. Just raise your hand. I'll help you out. Stay in your seat unless you are instructed otherwise. That doesn't mean you can't get a Kleenex or sharpen your pencil or anything, but let's not wander around the room while I'm teaching. Right? Classwork, right? I'm going to hand you assignments and other projects, stuff like that. I expect it to be quiet in the classroom. Doesn't mean you can't talk, but let's just keep our voices to a minimum. Raise your hand if you have any questions. Stay seated unless you're instructed otherwise, right? For tests and quizzes, I expect no talking, right? Just like every teacher you've had expects you not to talk during quizzes and tests, right? Raise your hands if you have any questions. There's a limited amount I can help you with on a quiz and test, but I will be able to help you if you raise your hand. And go ahead and stay seated unless instructed otherwise. Right? Personal free time. You're going to get done with a quiz or a test or an assignment before your classmates, one time or another. Right? We're going to stay quiet. We're going to raise our hand when we have questions, and we're going to stay seated unless instructed otherwise. You can use your headphones. These have to be wired. Right? You can plug them right into the Chromebooks. Right? But if this becomes a distraction, or you disturb other students who are still working, I can take that Chromebook away from you. So you're going to need to bring something to do other than a Chromebook. This can be a book, this can be something to draw on, this can be other classwork, but be prepared that I might take the Chromebook away from you if you're distracting others, right? And then class free time. We're going to be doing something together. If we all have some free time, we're going to do an activity together, right? We're going to raise our hands if we have questions, and we are going to stay seated unless instructed otherwise, right? We're going to use our indoor voices. We do not need to scream to our neighbor, right? I can always find more classwork for you to do, so if we do not follow classroom expectations, we will be continuing classwork, and we'll lose our class activity. All right. Leaving classroom, please pick anything up you see around you. This can be litter, this can be broken pencils or other pencils, just things you see that need to be picked up and put in the right place, right? Listen for any instructions before you go and get your phone, right? We have a phone bell that rings 2 minutes before class. Sometimes it sneaks up on me. You got to listen to anything I have to say before I let you go over and get your cell phone. Once you get your cell phone, please return to your desk, right? We are not going to line up at the door before the final bell. We can return to our desks and have a little minute on our phones before that final bell, right? Mr. Rozen has grades, obviously. I'm going to be grading those every week, right? Grades will be updated on Monday morning. This will be from all the work collected from the previous week. Students will also be receiving all graded classwork back on Monday mornings, and this will be able to be filed into their data binders. We'll talk about those a little bit more. You'll probably hear all that information from your advisory teacher. Units in this class are explicitly and intentionally framed as skill-based instruction. Students should understand they are developing core mathematical proficiencies that will prepare them for their future academic and civic lives. It is the student's responsibility to attain work that is missed, right? I have a Google Classroom. I'll get you that code when you come into class. My focus is to prepare students for their next steps in life. This being said, 8th grade students will be completing material from both 7th and 8th grade math curriculum. 8th graders will be working on some material from 7th grade, but we will be working on those 8th grade standards, right? 7th grade students will be focusing only on the 7th grade material, right? And here is a breakdown of both of those classes. On the left there's 7th grade, and on the right, that is 8th grade. If you want to take a minute to look at those, go ahead and pause the video now. That concludes my expectations, right? This is ever changing, and we will go over these a couple of times during the year. But I do look forward to having you in my classroom.